Welcome to Jurassic World.
Hello everyone and welcome to another monthly highlights stream here in our amazing streaming room. I am Jens, part of the community team here at Frontier, and it's my esteemed pleasure to be your host for this Jurassic World Evolution 2 monthly highlight stream, where we'll be talking about some of the things that we have revealed and announced during the past month. And of course, during this very, very special live stream, we're also going to be giving you a special look at some campaign gameplay from the game coming out on November 9th. And I am absolutely very, very, very much looking forward to see how you all like it. And it is really, really great to be here. Let's have a look and see who is in the chat. Heather G is here, of course. Terror is here. We've got Victor Silva over on YouTube, and a bunch of other familiar great faces. I'm not going to be here alone, luckily. I'm joined by people from the Jurassic World Evolution 2 dev team, and starting off with me on the couch is none other than Dialogue Manager James Stant.
Thank you very much, Jens. Hello, how are you today?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah,
Great.
it's
Yeah,
good to have you on the
here.
couch.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
it's nice to see you face to face too. Like we've mostly been
know.
talking on
know.
Teams and
All
stuff.
digitally, but now
Digitally,
face
yeah.
to face. It's good.
It's great
Good to be back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love to hear that. So for those who don't know you,
Yep.
what's your role on the dev team? What do you do?
Sure. I'm the dialogue manager. So across the studio, I'm overseeing the use of voice in our games. So for Jurassic World Evolution 2, obviously there's the main narrative. That's where people are expecting a lot of voice. But of course, there are things like the announcements in world, guided tours, and things like that, and the crowds. So it's just helping to bring these parks, these facilities to life with voice.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, I've noticed in sound design in games that a lot of people don't necessarily notice. So it's probably a good idea to have someone who's sort of in charge of every little thing that goes into it.
Absolutely, yeah. I originally started as an audio designer here at Frontier. I've been here about 8.5 years, and over the years been more and more involved with voice. Really, really love kind of the narrative aspect, just building stories, building characters and things like that. So it's been absolutely fantastic with Jurassic World Evolution and the sequel, having the opportunity to work with this rich universe. So, yeah.
We're going to get into a bit more of that later in the stream as well. Maybe talk about some of the Hollywood talent that players will get to meet during the game as well. So far, what's been the most enjoyable for you during this development process?
Sure, I think it's just revisiting the Jurassic World again, the universe. I think for someone like me and like many of the people that have worked on these games, we've grown up with these movies, and we've just become immersed in the stories that are being told. So to be able to bring people like Jeff Goldblum back to reprise his role as Ian Malcolm, it's just a fantastic opportunity, and it's hopefully a new opportunity for us to tell different stories as well.
And I'm assuming you're excited about the upcoming release. Is there something that you're the most excited for?
Yeah, I am really excited about this campaign. We have got an opportunity to tell a story set after Fallen Kingdom, and it's very, very different to the typical theme park building scenarios that we find ourselves in. So yeah, I'm delighted and kind of really excited to see what people will make to this campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself as well. So as I alluded to in the beginning, in today's stream, we'll be talking all things campaign. We're also going to be talking a little bit about chaos theory and some of the things that goes into that as well. If you haven't caught up on the second dev diary that came out this week, we absolutely encourage you to check out that, because we're going to be sort of taking that as a baseline and trying to dive a bit deeper into what's happening in the campaign and in the chaos theory mode. And so, yeah, at the very end, we're going to be jumping into some campaign gameplay as well. Now, as we mentioned, the story of Jurassic World Evolution 2 is a new and original narrative following the events of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And there's probably going to be some light spoilers for Fallen Kingdom, because it's difficult to avoid spoiling that movie, because there was a lot of things that happened at the end of that. But yeah, there are now dinosaurs roaming out in the wild in the United States, and in the game's campaign mode, it is the player's task to lead the Department of Fish and Wildlife and their efforts to capture, contain, and preserve dinosaurs. So what's it been like picking up after Fallen Kingdom? Because it took the Jurassic World that we're familiar with, which was like, theme parks and the islands and everything, and just dumped it all on its head and was like, all right, dinosaurs in the wild, new universe, just go.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's always that divide that, okay, they're safe behind all of these enclosure barriers and things like that, but now all of a sudden they're in the desert, they're in these forests that are so close to human life, but now we've got to make sure that these incredible animals can be safely contained and secure in these facilities that the player is tasked with building. So.
I'm assuming this is probably a very good opportunity for the dev team as well to tell something, like I said, that's fully original, fully new, but also part of the same universe. What's it been like to sort of be a part of the universe now? Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's as you mentioned with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you obviously had this end to the movie where they'd release from Lockwood Manor, and you just see ankylosaurs running this way, Sinoceratops running that way, and you think, okay, we have got this new world here where stegosaurs are just wandering in the desert, and of course it's not just about keeping the people in the vicinity safe, it's about keeping those dinosaurs safe as well. We want to preserve them and just give them the best chance they can of living in a nice, free but restrained way.
It's also one of the details that we're going to be touching on when we jump into the campaign gameplay later. But yeah, as you said, we have to sort of both protect ourselves from the dinosaurs, protect the dinosaurs maybe from each other.
Yep, exactly.
But also protect the dinosaurs from us.
Yep.
And I think that's a very interesting dynamic that we can then get to explore in the campaign mode.
Yeah, that's a great point you mentioned about from each other. Obviously, they are not being kind of...
They don't just run off into their own little corners of the world. They bump into each other here and there.
Yeah, exactly. So that's always a fun dynamic to work with. Yeah.
So what can players expect from the campaign? Some of it has been, we've touched on it already. Some of it has been discussed in the diary as well, but in your own words, as it were.
As you say, this is an incredible journey that sees you go from location to location across North America. The variety of environments that the player finds himself in is going to be amazing. These environments just look stunning. The art team and everyone involved has done a magnificent job. It's really incredible. I think we're very used to seeing these dinosaurs in maybe the tropical biome, where typically we've seen, okay, Isla Nublar and these fantastical Jurassic environments. Right. But now, we're moving from the Arizona desert to the snowy mountaintops, the temperate forests. There is just a beautiful array of settings for these dinosaurs to be exploring, and I think that's an absolutely beautiful aspect of Jurassic World Evolution 2.
I really like the sound of that, and I think it's, like you said, it is a great opportunity to explore and just be in other areas. Not that the islands themselves beautiful, of course, but it is fun to see dinosaurs in, a desert environment, a forest environment, etc., etc. with these environments, of course, there's going to be some calamities. We've seen some of them in the dev diary already. Could you maybe give us some more?
Absolutely. Nothing ever goes smoothly, does it? We can try, but yes, there's going to be snowstorms, there's going to be sandstorms, and all of these, they don't just affect maybe the mechanical workings of the vehicles and the buildings and things like that. They're going to affect the dinosaurs themselves. They're going to get distressed. So you need to be able to make sure that the dinosaurs and the reptiles, they're all happy, and that's always part of the challenge of running a facility like this. And yeah, it creates a very engaging experience for the player.
There's always a lot of plates to
spin.
Exactly,
Those plate spinning moments.
But one of the great things now is being able to at least pause the game when the calamities come. And so you can be like, all right, pause, snowstorm. What do I need to do?
Exactly.
Et cetera. I really like that. What kind of dinosaurs do you think we can expect to meet? Is that something we should let the players decide, figure out on their own, maybe?
Well, we might. Yeah, I think as we'd identified with the campaign following on from the events of Fallen Kingdom, I think a lot of those favourites that you've seen along the way, the Baryonyx, the Sinoceratops, you know, they're all going to make an appearance and things like that, and it's yeah, a great opportunity to see a lot of the favourites, the Stegosaurs, Triceratops, Carnotaurs, and things like that. As well as, obviously, we have the flying reptiles, Pteranodons, and maybe even Tropiognathus, who knows?
Ooh, you've heard it here first, folks. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. And as I mentioned, there's going to be some Hollywood talent, some familiar characters. Claire Dearing is back. Of course, Dr. Ian Malcolm is back in the game. And we've also brought back our own characters. Kajal Dua is back, Isaac Clement, George Lambert, and of course, Cabot Finch. What's it been like working with these actors and these characters again? Because I'm assuming they're not in the same place they were in the previous game.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, you know, I'm assuming Isaac Clement isn't running the entertainment division anymore.
Yeah, exactly. In Jurassic World Evolution, they were obviously heading up a division with science, security, and the entertainment divisions. And now they've all had to move on. And certainly with Dr. Kajal Dua, she's now with the CIA. She's heading up the Dangerous Species Division, and basically using her expertise to just help the efforts that are being made across the country, and just making sure that all of these dinosaurs are safely contained. George Lambert, of course, a security specialist. He's an ex-military man, and he's got ranger experience. So if there's someone that can help bring in these dinosaurs, George Lambert's the man. He's going to be able to come and help with Owen Grady as well. So that's fantastic use of his expertise. And then Isaac Clement, I'm going to leave that one for the players. He's a bit of a
interesting.
That's maybe an element of mystery later on as these different original characters are introduced.
All right. Yeah. I should point out that I still don't know what Isaac Clement's role is in the game, because in the moments I've had to play, I still haven't met him yet, so I don't really know. So this is very interesting. I'm keen to know more here. As dialogue manager, what's it been like working with these actors again? Have they? Is there a collaboration back and forth on developing the characters? Or is it just like, here's the script, go kind of thing?
I mean, certainly with the original characters that you mentioned, there are people like Graham Vick, who plays Cabot Finch. He embodies that character so well, and our writer John Zerplatten, he writes for the character of Cabot so well. So it's just this perfect coming together of brilliant writing, brilliant performance, and it feels so natural and so familiar in a way, which is brilliant. I think with the characters of Dua and Lambert and Clement, obviously there's a familiar core to those characters, but maybe they are exploring a slightly different side to them now that, for example, Dr. Dewar is moving away from a very scientific mindset and more CIA organization. So that's been really exciting to explore. And then, of course, with the talents that we recognize from the films, that is just such a wonderful, wonderful thing that they bring to our game, because it's not just, here is a script, please read this. Yes, we provide them with certainly a full script, with our partners at Universal having kind of been really helpful in just refining that and getting that into a really solid state. But as soon as you bring in someone like Jeff Goldblum, Bryce Dallas Howard, BD Wong, they know their characters so well, and you can kind of tweak and tweak and tweak, but until you get it in front of them, and they've had the chance just to say, you know what, I think Henry Wu would say it like this, or I don't think he'd react in that way, then you don't quite fully nail everything down. But once you get to that stage, it's a wonderfully collaborative effort, because you are able to use, in this case, maybe 30 years of familiarity with a character, and you can try and research the character and the background as much as possible, but actually having these people to hand is just unbelievable. And of course, it is a really fun process as well. It is that they're really appreciative that it is a kind of an open process in that,
like
in
a
that way.
dialogue
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. Yeah. So I think what we come out with is dialogue that feels really natural to that actor, and therefore hopefully is reflected in the game. Yeah.
Have you, when you're in the studio with these actors, have you noticed, is there sort of, do they all have different approaches to how they read this dialogue and how they act these scenes out?
Yeah.
Is there, like,
what's that been
like?
It's really interesting. I think someone like BD Wong, he is so eager to understand what everything that's going on. You know, where am I? What's the context here? You know, and it really is a sign of a great actor that they really want to just embody what is happening, not just say, okay, I've got a sheet here, I'm going to read that. They want to understand. They want to feel these emotions, which is absolutely fantastic. And I think with some of the characters like Claire Dearing, the relationship we've been able to explore a bit more between the characters of Claire and Owen. And I think that is really essential, just digging that little bit deeper, just so that it actually feels like a back and forth, a two-part conversation.
That sounds really interesting. And of course, we're working with Universal as well to sort of nail these tiny little things down. So what's that collaboration been like?
Absolutely, it's been wonderful. They obviously know these characters, the property incredibly well, and having their expertise to hand has always really helped just finesse our scripts, our game as a whole. They know how our game can fit in among the wider franchise, because obviously it's an amazing franchise with multimedia across every medium. So having their wealth of experience and understanding has really focused our efforts as well.
That sounds really, really cool. I can't wait to see the rest of it and hear everything. So remember, when you're playing Jurassic World Evolution 2, any piece of dialogue, any piece of narration, voiceover, whether it be a helicopter pilot or a central character, James is the guy in charge. So we're gonna move a bit on from campaign and talk a bit about Chaos Theory mode, which is Jurassic World Evolution 2's second mode that allows you to explore alternate timelines based on the previous films in the franchise, and basically ask yourself, hey, maybe things could have turned out differently. And if you've seen the Dev Diary recently, you will know that the Lost World Jurassic Park level tasks you with rebuilding Jurassic Park San Diego, and there's going to be maybe more of that at a later date. What's it been like working on the Chaos Theory mode?
So exciting. Jurassic Park is my favorite all-time film, so it is kind of personally so special to me that you get to explore these alternate timelines, these pivot points where what if something had happened differently. But obviously as a team, it's collectively so exciting because we do get to think about these key moments from the movie timeline and just see, okay, how would things have panned out differently if the San Diego amphitheater had been kind of repaired, open to the public, and there's a San Diego resort on the edge of the city, and people can go and see real-life dinosaurs on their doorstep.
That sounds amazing. I'm very much looking forward to it. We're gonna keep talking more about Chaos Theory. I just want to quickly mention, because I see there's a lot of people in chat who are very, very eager to see more of campaign. We are getting to the gameplay portion of the stream. First, we're going to be talking a bit about Chaos Theory, and then in a short while, we're going to be getting to the gameplay section. So please have a bit of patience, but we are definitely getting to it. Now, James, in these scenarios, you're either building a theme park or a facility based on the movie. You mentioned already that Jurassic Park is your favorite. Favorite film, at least. Is it also your favorite level, or is it difficult to change? Select?
The team have done a fantastic job just picking kind of a setting for each of the five Chaos Theory levels. But for me, kind of the 1993 era Jurassic Park it's always going to hold a special moment. Of course. That nostalgia pull is very strong. But yeah, I think it's a lovely opportunity to. Because you go back, you're there as Henry Wu is playing a really pivotal point, and obviously, kind of you think about starting up from very little, and without going too far into it, you've got to get the raptors there, you've got to build this Jurassic Park.
So that was actually bringing me to my next point. I was going to ask if there are any returning characters that players can expect to see in Chaos Theory mode. You mentioned Dr. Wu as well.
Yes.
So BD Wong returning to play the much younger Dr. Wu.
Yeah. And
that sounds really interesting.
That was one of my favourite moments across the whole project, across all of Jurassic World Evolution 2's development, because I think having worked with him last time, he was obviously playing the modern day Wu, and that's a very different to a 90s Wu where maybe he's a bit more fresh-faced and kind of enthusiastic about his endeavours in bioengineering. But that was amazing just watching BD, because we'd done both the modern-day Wu and the 90s Wu in the same session, and just seeing his approach to that, his shift, kind of a much more kind of positive outlook. It was wonderful just seeing that switch in an actor like that, because all of them, they're just brilliant to work with, and he could just change.
Really?
There we go. Yeah.
Oh, that's so much fun, because it's very interesting to sort of compare and contrast the first time we meet him, and then when he shows up again in Fallen Kingdom or in Jurassic World. There's a strong contrast there between the young and ambitious scientist and then the very older, more experienced scientist as well. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what that looks like in the game as well. And
obviously it's quite restrained in a way. He's not going to be over the top.
No, he's not a mad scientist, of course. No.
But at the same time, you can tell that there is a bit more of a purity and innocence to him in those days. So hopefully it's noticed and enjoyed.
I can't wait to see it. As a fan of the franchise myself, I'm very much looking forward to it. Are there any other characters that we can talk about for Chaos Theory?
Yes.
Briefly, maybe?
Yes, of course. So Dr. Ian Malcolm makes an appearance. He's obviously a very prominent figure.
Yes.
So he's always been a figure to help give you advice, whether you choose to take it or not. It's up to you. But
I feel like his advice often boils down to, don't do this.
Exactly.
You don't know the consequences.
So feature in this game, so it's wonderful having him be a part of Chaos Theory mode as well. So that's great. And then as we move to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, we have Bryce Dallas Howard. You know, she's so instrumental in those levels. She really brings the character of Claire to life, and I think that is a really wonderful character to explore more this time around, because Jurassic World Evolution, we had her present and she was able to help you as you shaped your park. But this time she's just so much more deeply embedded in the narrative. And I think that's, it allows you to see a slightly different side to Claire, because she's been on a tremendous journey as you go from like the operations manager side, Claire of Jurassic World, to the DPG era of Fallen Kingdom.
That sounds very interesting. I'm absolutely looking forward to it. We are going to take a brief pause right here. We're going to switch James out with Dan Davies, one of our designers, talk to him a little bit, and then coming up we've got some campaign gameplay, so don't go. We will be right back. And we're back. That was quick. And I'm now joined on the sofas by Dan Davies from the Jurassic World Evolution 2 dev team. Hi, Dan.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, thank you. Yeah, I'm excited.
It's good to have you here.
Thanks.
And for those who don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I'm Dan Davies. I'm a principal designer on Jurassic World Evolution 2. I've been working on all things campaign for the duration of this project. So I've been looking at the locations, I've been looking at the narrative, been working with James and others on that. And I've been looking at, I've actually been developing the missions and the situations and the events, and looking at this kind of whole new perspective that we can put.
So basically in charge of most things campaign in the game.
I've been looking at it from a holistic point of view. Yeah.
That sounds really, really interesting. And how are you finding the work? Is it interesting? I mean, I'm assuming it is.
Of course. It's always interesting. I guess it's hypothetical in a way, but when you're in the universe, it feels very plausible. So I think that's been the interesting aspect of it, is how do these things collide? How does this thing that is patently kind of on the face of it not realistic,
right?
But, within the universe, within the situations that we're depicting, it's kind of it's all too real. And I think that's, and now that we're in sort of, we're on the mainland, we're away from this from the islands. It really brings those things closer together. The dinosaurs in real life, I guess.
Absolutely, definitely. What would you say you're most excited for in not just the campaign, but I guess the game as a whole?
I think it's the dinosaurs. So yeah, cop out. But
I mean,
I
the
think
dinosaurs are
it's
sort of the key thing in the game.
Yeah,
Right?
it's the experience of witnessing the dinosaurs. So
Yeah.
I think that's one thing we tried to really do on campaign was to take this thing. So it's easy to skip over it.
Right.
To see a dinosaur, to see it close, to see it embedded in the environment, and also to see it from the appropriate perspective.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our game, obviously, you're in the sort of sky
There's
camera,
the God mode sort of
yeah,
top-down
and the
perspective
little
thing,
tadpoles moving around. But
Right.
It's the detail that they're rendered at, and the way they sound, the way they look, the way they move.
Mm-hmm.
All of our incredibly talented developers have been bringing them to life, and through campaign mode in particular, we've been able to give you just a chance to show them off, just to,
Of course.
just
that's
a
what you
chance
should
to
do.
give you that sort of seeing them through the trees from a human height, seeing them from the vehicle. It's like, I mean, yeah, we've been using, we use the vehicles in this to give you, to offer that perspective to more
Right.
people more of the time than we did in the first game. You didn't ever have to go in the vehicle in the first game, but
We'll be seeing more of it as we
exactly.
jump into the campaign
Yeah,
mode
yeah,
gameplay
yeah.
later as well. I think personally for me, one of my favorite things about both the first game and Jurassic World Evolution 2 is when the dinosaurs come out of the hatchery is just
Yeah, exactly.
amazing. Or just being able to just click them and then just camera goes right there and
Yeah.
then you see them. And it feels like you're very much taking sort of John Hammond's philosophy of making something that's real, something that people
Yeah.
can touch and feel. I mean, even though it's digital, it still feels very real as you have it in front of you.
So I think that hatchery reveal, hatchery exit moment from Jurassic World Evolution, obviously it returns in Jurassic World Evolution 2, but better. But that's the moment that we wanted to dig into and be like, how can we build on that? How can we take that to a more developed experience?
Of course, I think that's going to be really, really fun, and we're going to be jumping very, 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 very soon into some campaign mode gameplay. We're going to be taking a brief, maybe 30-second to a minute pause, and Dan, you're going to be sat in front of the gaming computer. We're going to bring James back to the sofa, but I first wanted people to meet you and see you, so you're not just like a disembodied
Yeah.
voice.
There's a person talking while they're
as
playing.
we're
It's me.
playing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to see and to show people this campaign gameplay. So we will be right back. And we're back once again. James is back on the couch. Welcome back,
Hello,
James.
thank you.
I hope you enjoyed your 5-minute break.
I did.
All right, everyone. We are ready to go with some campaign gameplay. We've got Dan sitting off to my side here, ready to play, and I think we can just switch over to the gameplay screen. I was about to say stream, which also would be correct. But oof, what are words anymore? So we're going to be setting the scene just a tiny little bit before we click that unpause button. So we are in a early level in the campaign mode. In this particular level, the DFW, the Department of Fish and Wildlife, has been tasked with capturing and protecting dinosaurs after they have been hunted by some big game poachers, which, as I mentioned previously, you'll be protecting dinosaurs both from each other and from us, because some people want to hunt them, it seems. And so what we've done is we have placed these two Carnotaurus into a pen. We've constructed a pretty sort of standard facility, and we are pretty much ready to go, I'd say. And I should also mention that this is, we are playing on an in-development build, so keep that in mind if some things happen, but we should hopefully have a very smooth experience. So Dan, you can just go right ahead and start following these mission parameters. And so right now our main mission is to ensure that these Carnotaurs have a decent amount of comfort around. I think maybe this pen needs to be maybe a bit bigger. They might need a status check as well. I think I've made a ranger post ready for your ranger team, Dan. So
I feel like, yeah, straight away we need to make this space a bit bigger.
Yeah.
The poachers,
they didn't necessarily do a great job,
their
did they?
decisions on enclosure size. Yeah.
So go ahead.
I'm gonna unpause in a second, and then we need to try and get some information from the dinosaurs. So we want to find out what they like, what they need, and to give them the proper sized enclosure. So my current objective is to improve their comfort.
Yep.
But I don't know what their comfort is.
No.
So we need to send.
I think you need to send your rangers off.
Ranger teams out. I'm going to do this manually first.
Oh, that's
set up.
Yeah, and since you're doing this manually, you're right off. The game is on pause. The dinosaurs have started moving around again, or will be. There we go. And so you'll be, as before in the previous game, you'll be taking on missions and tasks, but you're not working with the Hammond Foundation anymore. There aren't any contracts or anything like that. But you'll be tasked with completing tasks in order to progress the levels and progress the story. And
slowly back out.
All right, slowly back out.
Yeah,
I was going to say it's a good thing both of them were thirsty, but I guess only one of them was thirsty. Yeah. Oof, that was a close one.
So we've got the status check information now. Funnily enough, open space not great.
Open space not great.
Not great.
I think maybe
pretty much everything else not great.
Right. All right. Well, let's get cracking then, I think.
So I'm going to pause the game because I feel like they are not going to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
So if I keep it running.
So if you've already seen the gameplay that we revealed or that we showed in our previous monthly highlight stream, you'll know that building is similar to how it was before. You're placing down fences, paths, various facilities and buildings, etc., etc. There's also a nice bulk demolish feature that Dan is now demonstrating. Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't take out the generator.
You're right. Maybe. Okay. Before we do this, we're going to go into the generator and we're going to move it.
All right.
This is a new feature for this game, and makes building placement a lot easier to correct.
There we go.
Mistakes, and the build process is paused now, so I can.
I'm not sure how I should feel about you calling my generator placement a mistake.
Well,
but I'm just going to let it slide.
Yeah, I'm going to use the bulk demolisher. I'm going to filter it so that it doesn't clear the trees because I don't mind those. So I'm going to just get rid of the fences.
James, if this were you, if you were jumping into this level,
yes.
Do you think Dan is on the right path here? Is this what you would be doing as well?
Yeah, it's great. As soon as he got into the Ranger vehicle, performing those status checks, you could see immediately the user interface said missing open space.
Right.
You get a clue as to what's going on, why they might not be happy with their current enclosure, and then of course he's making sure he's trying to address that. He's wisely moved the power generator. We always need power. We always need power, especially if you've got two Carnotaurs. Just
probably a good idea, and I
Yeah.
can see also that they have a fairly high security rating. So I think at some point we may need to look
Yeah.
into upgrading these fences
Yeah.
if we can. But I'm assuming that as long as they're comfortable, there shouldn't be too many breakouts.
Yeah, so the fence security effectively is if the fence is the right security level, then it will
Yes.
be ready when there's a problem. If there isn't a problem, then
Yeah.
you can maybe try and get away with it.
But for now, at least, it looks like it
Yeah.
looks like they're doing okay.
I don't think they're very happy in this little box
All
you've
right,
made.
well-
So I'm just going to wait for this new fence to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take builds over time.
I think you can speed up time a little bit to
That's
see
true.
if
We can
maybe that
speed up
will
time.
help it out. There we go.
It's building along the other
3
side.
times speed. Love it.
Okay. That's
Aaron
done.
Moses from YouTube says the hype is lowering. No, his hype is highing as time is getting closer to the release. That's amazing.
I'm glad it's
Hi-
that right. So
Can't
yeah,
read to these.
the fences are finished. I'm going to open out this
All right, there we go. There we go.
now.
Much more open space.
That's
Yeah.
better.
Let's see how they're
Yeah.
doing.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
Oh, no.
yeah. Oh no, they broke out.
This I'm going to blame you for this.
Let's try. Let's try.
All right, let's get in the capture team. So
Time for the
go.
capture team. Here we go.
Probably a good idea. Of course, you can take direct control with your capture team, or you can just have them, or you can assign them. You can also have a lock-on, which Dan is demonstrating right now. And amazing. We're getting the Carnotaurs back in
Yeah.
because, yeah, they're not too happy about being put inside a fenced enclosure. I mean, who would be?
Who would be?
These are wild animals, of course, but bit by bit we will get them back in.
Okay.
All right.
So I've used lock-on to track them down and tranquilize them again.
Well, let's. So what was it they needed? They needed open space, and they needed.
I think there was a sand on there
Right. So we
and
should.
some prey as well. So I'm going to take the reindeer and repair the fence first.
Yeah, there's no point moving them if the fence is still broken.
No, of course. I mean, there's a hole in the fence. They can just go through it. Why would you place them back in? But of course, it's a good thing that this sedative is keeping them asleep for just the just right amount of time that you need in order to keep them going.
Yeah, perhaps you're right there. Maybe I should do some enclosure. We'll add some water.
All right.
We'll
Add some water, a bit of sand maybe. I think that's what they needed.
yeah,
There we go.
let's take
Got our
some-
environment brushes up. And hopefully this should
We've got transport on a specific button now, rather than a specific team, so it's always
Yes.
available.
that's
Um,
also really good. Let's get them back
it's always
into this
something
pen.
you want quickly.
Where's the last one? There it is. It's a good thing that the helicopter is able to sort of pick them out from these trees. I like that. I really like that. As I mentioned previously, we are playing on an in-development build, so in case you spot anything, there is still time for us to take care of everything, but hopefully this should be a very, very smooth experience. Now that we've got these fences up, we've got some sand on the ground here as well. These Carnotaurus should hopefully be more comfortable, and we'll see how this goes. I really love the look of this level. What do you think, James?
Yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I think when you look at the contrast between the snowy mountains, the foliage surrounding, it's a beautiful, beautiful setting in Washington.
Yes, absolutely. I think it looks like you need a bit more sand.
Yeah, so what we can do is go into the comfort and go straight to the edit environment from here. And this enters you into a mode where you can see the territory that they're occupying.
Right.
So you see the bits that they are looking at. And also we kind of highlight which bits are important.
Oh,
right
that's
now.
interesting. That's
So
great.
you can view the current state
Right.
of their enclosure needs and the tools that you have available to you. So you're right. A bit more
Alright.
sand. And you'll see it go up
Let's
as I put
see.
it down, so I can see exactly
Yeah, I
what
think
I
you're
need.
I think you're paused right now, so they're not really. There we go.
And then
A bit
prey
of prey.
feeder. So
Yeah, good idea. Keep
that
them
one of
fed.
those?
That's how
Yes.
Yeah.
you know. I'm like that. Keep me fed, and I'm happy. You know.
yeah. So now we're comfortable. We're perfect, actually. So
All right. This,
Yeah, some of these animations are just stunning. We
Yes.
have an incredibly talented team here at Frontier.
Absolutely.
And I'm hoping the live bait feeder will have something in store because
It should.
yes.
All right, perfect. That's amazing. So let's build one of these viewing galleries as well to make sure that they can be observed.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've ticked down on the 80% comfort now, so that's complete.
That's 80% complete. That's great. So let's get a viewing gallery going. I think that's a good placement. We've got good coverage.
Yeah.
Let's see if there's anything happening in the chat, shall we?
Because even though we're not building a tourist-facing theme park,
Yeah.
we still need these viewing buildings, these viewing galleries, just to ensure that the DFW operatives that are working on the facility have a means to just study and monitor these dinosaurs that are being kept there.
Mm-hmm.
Correct, Mr. Hirsch.
Sir Bongo in chat asks, how can you make an already perfect game even better? And here it is. Let's see what else. This is much prettier than the first game, has a lot more personality. That's amazing. I'd like to hear it.
Per se.
And of course, we're. Right. So right now we are searching for signs of a dangerous escaped dinosaur that has been roaming around in
Yeah.
the area. So we've captured the Carnotaurs are happy now, hopefully.
They should be, yeah. So we're following the trail of the other dinosaurs that escaped, effectively.
Right.
So we've picked up the trail of an unknown species,
Mhm.
and we're going to go follow the trail and see where it takes us.
I love this. I love being, because there's a lot of, if you can pause for a bit there, Dan. Just hit the pause for me real quick, if you can.
Yeah, effectively. Yeah.
Right,
I'll just
this would
wait.
be the pause. Because there's
Yeah.
there's a lot of these moments that I really like in the campaign where they put you right into a vehicle, whether it's a ranger vehicle or if it's a helicopter or anything like that, to just sort of put you into the action, as it were. I think that's really, really fun. What's the, I mean, you talked a bit about it earlier, Dan. What was the sort of impetus behind these moments?
Yeah, so this is all about, I don't want to use the word force, but to put you into the lower perspective, to put you into the vehicle perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And we've done some work, like, for example, adding the lock-on mode, because, you know, some people found the manual dart shooting more frustrating than others, so we've made it so that you can do it either way, which means that we can rely on the vehicles more and be like, well, everyone can enjoy this section of the game, and it allows us to give this perspective and do gameplay sequences like this one
Right.
that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to do if you could let the AI do it or that sort of thing. So we'll keep following this trail. We've got a large carnivore.
And then, of course, there are bits of story that happen as you are following these trails here. I'm seeing a lot of love in chat for our carnivores, and I've also I've been looking at the subreddit for the past week. There's a lot of love for carnivores sitting down and sort of scratching themselves behind their ears. A lot of really good animations and behaviors.
And of course, we've got a few dinosaurs around here, but these aren't the one. This isn't the one we're
This isn't the
looking
one
for.
that we're looking for. No.
Oh,
These are not the dangerous ones that we're looking for, but there are some wild dinosaurs roaming around.
That's right.
Some of them that you'll be tasked with capturing and containing, because we don't want them running around being a danger to themselves, a danger to others, or us being a danger to them.
and as we scan that last one, gave us a hint that I think we know what type of large carnivore we're
Alright.
about to find.
This is just an amazing view,
That for a
view
vista,
right
yeah.
here. Oh, look at these Triceratops! Oh, I love it.
So this is what it's all about for me. It's seeing them in scale, seeing them in
Yes.
perspective,
I agree.
and getting
I
to see
agree.
the
Yeah,
Brachiosaurs.
there they are. This is great. Oh, look at those Brachiosauruses. Oh, I'm really excited. All right. I also see a lot of questions in chat about hybrids. We have currently shared that the Indominus Rex will be back in the game. If you check out our recently released dev diary, you can see it right there. And we advise you to go check it out because it looks really, really cool. And I'm excited to have the Indominus Rex back as well. Speaking of dangerous escape dinosaurs, this is what we're talking about. All right. I think you're handling that Ranger vehicle really, really well, Dan. Have you played this before a lot?
I've played it once or twice. We've made some improvements actually to the way the vehicle's handled, so it's part of the focus on the vehicles is we've changed the driving model pretty much entirely actually, so you can do things like J-turns and slides and drive around the low. It's just a bit more fun, a bit more.
Right.
Oh, you found another one there, Dan?
I've got a helicopter tracking me down. We're gonna scan this point here.
Scan this
Okay.
one. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Move, move, move. I think it's a good idea to, to get out. That was an, I believe that's an Allosaurus, if I know my dinosaurs correctly.
You do.
Phew. And there, of course, we saw briefly Dr. Kajal Dua chiming in. There she is.
Yeah.
So we've moved now from the Ranger vehicle up into the capture team. Let's see if Dan's aim is true. Managing to hit hit it right there. Hit it again. Let's administer this sedative and try to tranquilize this rampaging Allosaurus.
Try and do it without lock on.
I'm gonna do it without lock on.
Confident.
Go on, Dan. Oh, unlucky.
What about you, James? Are you a free aim kind of person or lock on?
I normally like the challenge of a free aim. Yep, I just like to plan the trajectory and hope that that's a good shot, Dan.
It looked good, didn't it?
It looked good. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm a bit stubborn and I'll just keep going with the free aim. Oh, good shot. Great shot. Yeah, it's lovely in narrative moments like this. We have the film characters like Claire Dearing, Owen Grady interacting with Kajal Dua, Cabot Finch, and that's lovely to explore those relationships. And certainly with characters like Cabot Finch, you can see he's always keen to take the credit when things are going well, but as soon as something's going wrong, the anxiety comes through, and he's worrying about his own back. So I think it's always a really fun process just exploring those character traits.
And he'll always have something that he's going to chime in with.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, well done me
Yeah.
for instructing you in how to do it. Well done me in giving you the opportunity to do all these things. That's great. That's why I love Cabot Finch. Like he is right for the man. Oh, here comes the snow. That looks amazing.
Yeah, we were just kind of waiting for the transport to bring the Allosaurus up.
Waiting for the
to
Allosaurus to come
facility.
back. While we're waiting for that, let's take a look at some of these buildings and maybe quickly explain what they do. The viewing gallery, of course, helps with dinosaur visibility. As James mentioned, it's for the DFW employees and researchers, etc., to come in, observe the dinosaurs, make sure that everything is going well. And it looks like we've got some decent. You can see decent angles on these Carnotauruses. We've got our response facility, which there we go, where both the Ranger team and the capture team sits. So that is where you will find both your capture teams and your Ranger teams if you need to send them out on missions in order to do whatever they need to. Here we got our Allosaurus coming back. That looks great. Well, coming back, I say. I mean, coming too.
I'm going to drive the Ranger team back.
Ah, that's great. Love it. Now, I love the look of this snow, and I love that it stays on the ground after it finishes snowing. It stays up in the trees. It makes me feel like home. As a Norwegian, it just makes me feel like home. I really like this. Okay. So
we need the Ranger team back because we're going to get the status check as soon as it arrives back.
Yes, that's a good idea. And I'm wondering, because I noticed you sort of put the Allosaurus back into open territory. Is that a good idea?
It is if I was to just let it carry on. I think what we're going to do is
should probably
pause the game.
Some fencing around it.
Yeah.
There it is, hanging in the air.
It's coming in, so we're going to clear this water first.
In case you're wondering, we are playing a early level in the Jurassic World Evolution 2 campaign mode. and we have been, if you've just been joining us, we've just been tracking down and tranquilizing a dangerous runaway Allosaurus. We're now bringing it back to our facility in order to contain it within our fencing here, and hopefully able to keep it under relative safely, both from itself and from its and from other dinosaurs and its surrounding areas. And Dan is setting up a bit of a holding pen for it as we can start to do status checks on it and everything else. We're playing this on a in development build, so if you notice anything that seems off, then that is the reason for that, but we should have a smooth experience throughout. Let's see.
I always find it quite interesting in the campaign when you're building your enclosures, because you're not thinking about where you're placing the hatcheries so much anymore, because certainly with Jurassic World Evolution it was very much, okay, I've got to strategically place my fences around hatcheries, but of course we're dealing with wild dinosaurs, we're bringing them back into these enclosures like Dan's building here. So it's a bit of a different dynamic to park building.
It definitely is, and I think it's a really interesting way to recontextualize the park building mechanic.
Yes.
Because it's this might sound derogative, but you know it is different, but it's also the same.
Yeah.
It is a new context for all these things that you're doing. And so yeah, we've got some power going for this viewing gallery. Our rangers are coming back. They made it just before the fences came up. I hope these fences are able to pop up just as the in order to keep the Allosaurus.
It's going to be close, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got it. I think we got it just so.
So we're going to put some ranger posts in, which will give the rangers a place to do their automated patrols. So you don't have to go and scan them every time manually. We can select add task and then just click on the ranger posts.
That was the that's the ranger post.
Yeah.
I think these are really cool. So they will scan every dinosaur in their radius, right?
Yeah, they'll go through and they'll do a sort of check on the whole enclosure as defined by the radius that you saw there. So you put one of these somewhere on the enclosure and they'll go, every dinosaur in here I need to do a status check on.
Oh, careful. Let's see if this
so let's see how I don't know.
Allosaurus is doing well. It's doing well, I think. Let's see. Ah, she's a beauty though. Look at that. All right, so we need a medical scan.
So we can see there's an unspecified ailment. So something's wrong, but we don't know what it is yet. So we're going to, once this objective is completed, we're going to need to medical scan it and find out, you know, what the problem is.
To assess the status of the
So let's,
And that's where the paleomedical facility comes.
This is a brand new building and a brand new vehicle for
Ooh, that's a
Jurassic
big
World
one.
Evolution 2.
Yep.
This is going to be...
I really like the little courtyard that they've got going as well. So, but yeah, they will treat sick and injured dinosaurs, both out in the field and then in their facility as well, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, so there's kind of two main branches of ailments. You've got your diseases, which function a lot like they did in Jurassic World Evolution, so you've got to go out, you've got to research the cure, you've got to go out and dart the dinosaurs and treat them. But then the new one we have is injuries, so there's a wide variety of different ways in which dinosaurs can be injured, ways in which different injuries, and sometimes if it's a major injury, so it's really serious, it needs to be brought in to the medical facility for treatment. So we're about to do this. We're going to go.
I like that. I love the I love the mobile vet unit.
Oh, it's great, isn't it?
It's I just love the sort of dinosaur ambulance thing they've got going, and it just looks incredible with the DFW logo on the side and with the sort of the red and white band around it
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
It looks like for now at least the.
I realise I've.
Oh,
jumped
I was
the
going to say the
gun,
Allosaurus is
Yeah.
was taking a bit of
but
a
I've
rest.
realised
but-
I've not.
Oh, careful!
Yeah. Okay. Oversight.
Yeah, it's a good
I need
idea.
to do its enclosure requirements.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
There we go. So we
All
can
right.
see.
Now it's comfortable. Now we've got it.
Now we can bring the bit back in.
All right. Let's scan this thing and see how it goes.
So Dan's got the medical scanner, and hopefully, oh,
There we go.
Okay. Injured major fracture.
It's a good idea that they had that goat to snack
Yeah,
on, but
it's
here it
time
comes
to-
again. Careful, careful, careful. Squaring up.
Sometimes
Yeah, probably a good idea to
Let's
run
hire
away.
new scientists.
Militant Cow in chat says, love the more hands-on care mechanics and scanning of dinos. That will hopefully lead to a more of a connection between building and your animals. And if you were here when I was chatting with Dan earlier, that is sort of the one of the things that we want to try to not provoke. What's the word I'm looking for? Try to sort of bring forward in the
Exactly.
campaign. This like up close and personal connection with the dinosaurs. And I got to say, this Allosaurus is great looking.
We've
So-
got these visual cues about the injury as well, so you can see the visually on the dinosaur, depending on the injury.
It's great. Oh, lying down.
You can actually see as well on the ailment tab, you get a bit more detail. So
All right.
we can see that this major fracture was caused by attacking fences. In this case, it was
Okay.
escaping from the poacher camp. So
Yes.
there are a number of different causes, and you'll be able to see here sort of what's caused it. One thing we had sort of in the first game was you'd have dinosaurs smashing against concrete walls for a very long time, and you know now they can be injured doing that. So there's a bit more plausibility in how they interact with the environment. So I'm going to hire some scientists now. So
Yes,
we need
let's do it.
some specialist
So
staff to oversee the treatment itself. So we'll go to the scientist page, and we're going to recruit a new scientist, and we're looking for, there we go, welfare 3. Look at that. So
oh, that's great.
when you're browsing the scientists, you have to. Oh, that's not what I want. You have to look at their 3 skills. So they have logistics, genetics, and welfare, and these are the different types of tasks. They're sort of leaning into the different types of tasks you can do. So welfare in this case is treating injuries. Genetics might be, research, or logistics might be some more practical things. So we're going to go for this scientist here.
If you're watching and you want to know more about scientists and how they work in the game, you should go to the Jurassic World Evolution 2 YouTube channel and check out the park management video on scientists. And there's also a write-up on our forums explaining in a bit more detail how scientists will work. They basically help you run your park in addition to they help run your park as well as your park teams help run your parks, or your facilities, I should say, in the campaign mode. But they're a very, very central part of everything.
Okay.
All right, a bit
So-
of tutorial there.
Yeah, I'm going to use the AI here just so we show the full range of the different options you have. So I can just assign the tranquilize task. Obviously, we need to tranquilize the dinosaur before we can bring it in for treatment. So
Yep.
bring in the AI to do that.
Yeah, I do like how the introduction of the Paleo Medical Facility, the MBU team, complements that feel that the campaign has, that
Yes.
these dinosaurs haven't been monitored 24/7 in kind of a theme park setting. These have been out in the wild, and as well as you might know, extant species of animals that still live among us.
Yeah.
No one really is going to be able to just look at an Allosaurus and say, yep, major fracture right there.
Exactly,
You need to
yeah,
be
yeah,
able
yeah.
to diagnose these, because who knows what they've been up to when they're out in the Washington wild.
Yeah, and in this particular case, they've obviously been poached
Exactly,
by
yeah.
poachers. And
Yeah.
I also love the feel of in universe. This feels like they sort of had to very quickly adapt
Yes.
to dinosaurs being out in the wild.
Yep.
It's like suddenly the U.S. just has to put all these things together
Yeah.
now that there are dinosaurs out there, right? We need
Yeah.
these facilities, we need these kinds of people. I like how the gameplay that you go through in the campaign mode sort of underlines that theme
Yes.
as well. I think it's really, really great.
Here we go.
Yeah, so we've assigned the scientist
Mm-hmm.
to the treatment, and now we've delivered
All right.
the dinosaur in. So
Place it down gently, give it some nice healing juice. Didn't know what else to
gently
call
missed. Yep.
it. This is great though. But I think you had that was your rangers were attacked, but they seem to be doing fine.
They had a tussle with the Carnotaurus.
Yep,
a tussle.
they ran away very quickly.
I think they're doing well. There we go.
Oh, so another thing, the ranger patrols, when you're going between these posts, they also resupply feeders within the range. So something that you kind of had to do manually on the first game, and this is, if you set your infrastructure up correctly, you'll never have to actually resupply them. So you can see the reserve getting restocked here by a ranger team.
That's a really, really nice little update from in Jurassic World Evolution 2. The fact that the feeders can be stocked automatically by our ranger teams as well. So now that the Allosaurus is being taken care of, things seem to be going pretty well, I'd say.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still a valley full of dinosaurs that we at some point I think need to take care of. But I think, let's see how things are going. Oh,
I was
there's a
going
bit
to
of-
ask if our Carnotaurs are still happy.
Yeah, it looked like there was a bit of a fight. They seem content.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something happening. Oh, scaring the
Chasing
goats.
them out to the gates.
Oh, careful.
Varying degrees
Oh.
of success.
Careful.
Not looking good.
Oh, there we go. There's the takedown. And right down the gullet in one gulp. Oof. Poor goat.
Are the Carnotaurs happy?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
She obviously is.
But yes,
Ah.
poor goat. Poor goat.
Poor goat. But oh well. There's another one where that came from. That was cool though. I like seeing that. I really like seeing that. All
So
right.
we've got this little orange icons up here, which is indicating that the generator
All right.
is running low on fuel. So
We should resupply then.
we can resupply. You have the option of going
Right.
all the way, but it's quite expensive. So we can
I mean,
just
we've
add a
got-
little bit in.
We've got $4 million. I think we're good
Yeah.
for the time
Yeah,
being.
splash out.
Yeah, just fill it up. Let's see what happens. There we go.
And
That's
the generators, they consume fuel depending on how many things they're powering. So
Right.
it's not
so
burning at a constant rate.
Right.
You can actually have it vary based on how overloaded each generator is. So the generators also in the other modes will be able to take the strain off of the main network. So if
Right.
there's a bit of a, if your power output goes above slightly what your power stations are producing, the generators kick in. Obviously they cost fuel, but they're a very useful backup. It's called
And
backup
then
generators. But
is it possible then to have multiple generators so there's less strain on each individual generator?
yeah. They'll share amongst themselves,
That's great. Yeah.
and you'll
mean,
get.
One facility is probably a bit too much for one.
Yes.
One whole big facility is
Yeah.
probably a bit too much for one
It's-
generator to
it's
supply.
Perfect for the more temporary nature of these
Yeah, definitely.
campaign missions, though. So
Now the control center here, I'm assuming that's what allows everything else to sort of happen around here. So that's what allows you to sort of go into your management screen, see everything that's happening around you in the facility.
yeah, so we've got this sort of control tower vibe here, and this is where your scientists are hired. That's where they're managed.
Part of the
And you
healing process
can
is to get some rest,
sort of
preferably someplace comfortable.
expand the amount of scientists that you can hire
Yes.
by adding more buildings.
You imagine correctly.
So I'm going to the treatment's done.
Yes, moving on then. We want to have the
So-
Transport it back into its enclosure.
Got a button here to transport it straight out,
Nice.
and we're going to go back to where it was. So
All right.
hopefully it should be happy, because that's the one I was using before.
I think we should be fine, but we'll see. I mean, who knows what will happen with these dinosaurs? But I like how calmly, generally, things have been happening so far. Like there was a brief breakout of Carnotaurus there, but we managed to get it under control.
Yeah, that was before we were up and running there,
Oh,
really, right?
there's another goat being tossed
Another
around
goat
there.
being massacred down here. Yeah.
And there it goes. Yeah. I gotta say, it's a bit brutal, but I do love when the Carnotaurus
Yep.
comes running, flips the goat into the air, and just chows down on it. It does look really, really great. Just want to mention once again that we are playing on an in-development build, so there might still be some things here and there that might look a bit off, but we are working to have a smooth game as much as we possibly can, and this Allosaurus looks to be very, very comfortable.
But with a
Miss-
bit more forest.
Yes, missing a bit of forest.
It's,
There we go.
Oh,
a
it's
picky
like
Allosaurus.
it's like 1% more forest, please.
Tell you what, we can go one better.
Oh,
There we go. That's good. Probably need some places to hide. I'm
Yeah,
assuming. I mean,
yeah.
it was just
Yeah.
it was poached,
Yes.
so it's probably good to have some extra forest here. I think that's a good idea.
Okay, it loves lying down. It's tired from its... Okay.
All right.
Good job,
let's,
Dan.
Good job, Dan. Let's jump out of the gameplay screen and see back to myself and James. All right.
Yep.
So, mission complete. We managed to catch the Allosaurus. We managed to give it what it needed in terms of comfort. Managed to heal it up, and then the story continues from there. But for now, that's all you'll be seeing from the campaign mode. I really enjoy this. I thought this was a lot of fun. I haven't played this yet.
Sure.
So now I'm really excited to just go in and play it myself because I haven't been able to play it. How do you think Dan did here, James?
He did really well. I'm
Yeah.
proud of him. He's.
Seems like he's played it a lot before, I'd say.
I think he has. Yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is absolutely a good thing. I think it's a good idea to have someone behind the
Yeah.
controls who's been
Yeah.
through it a
Exactly.
bit before.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is what we had to show you from the campaign mode. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I think that's gonna do it for this monthly highlights stream. And from us here at Frontier, I want to say a huge thank you to Dan Davies for joining me for playing and for joining me on the couch for a few minutes as well to talk with me. I want to, of course, thank you, James.
Thank you.
For joining me and giving us your insights from being a dialogue manager.
Yes.
That's what you're. I needed to sit there and be like, "What's the title?" Like, dialogue manager. That's what it is. So yeah, thank you so much, James. It's been a
Thank you for
pleasure
having me.
you. And maybe we'll see you again on stream
I hope
at
so.
some point. I hope
Yeah.
so too. And I think we're going to be signing off right about now. So I want to also give a huge shout out to the mods for keeping it down in the chat. I want to also give a huge shout out to the rest of the community team here at Frontier, to Francesca, Eltanen, and of course to Tim, who has been sitting behind the ones and twos. He's giving me a wave. I'm giving the Tim wave back to the camera. And I think what's left to say is that Jurassic World Evolution 2 is coming to PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One on November 9th in a month and change, and it is very, very, very exciting, and I hope you all out there think it is very exciting as well. And we will see you guys on the next stream. So keep your eyes peeled to our official social channels, where we will of course announce any and all news that we have to share. But until then, bye-bye.